Hello everyone, welcome to Daily Current Affairs series. Today we will discuss about 28th May current affairs. Myself, Sunny Sandeep. Welcome to my channel, Gear Up for Group 1 exam. Let us discuss the current affairs. Government removes 4,500 ceiling on COVID-19 test. We have seen that cases are increasing day by day. Coronavirus cases almost reached 1,57,000 cases in India. For testing, COVID-19 test is required for corona. At the time of January, there is no production of or there are no tests for COVID-19. Now India is improved their situation. Almost for a local production, that is PPE kits also and masks also, some sanitizers and testing kits also increased. If you seen that the first case for the coronavirus tests, demand is more but equipment is less. That means supply is less. Demand is more but supply is less. That's why ICMR capped a ceiling on a COVID-19 test as a 4,500 rupees. Now time goes on and time passes on. COVID-19 tests are are increased more, are available in easier manner. That means demand is somewhat low. On another hand, supply is increased. That means no need of price increasing. That's why now in this time, if you remove ICMR, if you remove cap on ceiling of 4,500 rupees for corona test, that's why that laboratories, private laboratories or states, they can talk with each other and they can put a less price than 4,500. That may useful for everyone. That's why now government has announced that government removes 4,500 ceiling on COVID-19 tests. That means Indian Council of Medical Research removes price cap. Here the upper ceiling of 4,500 for the RT-PCR, that means reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction test for the COVID-19 be removed. Here testing supplies situation has been stabilized with greater local procurement. I have previously told that there is a increase in the local procurement, that means increasing in the supply of that COVID-19 test. Here if you see that there is a good news, that is our recovery rate is 42%, 42.4% with a fatality rate of 2.86%, whereas the world average is 6.36. This is what we have to know from this article. Next one, editorial explanation. The swam. We have seen that there is a word, the swam, in a recent newspaper. Here, what is the meaning of swam? That means a group of insects or group of locusts are attacking on a fields, agricultural fields. In detail, in our article or in a editorial, we have seen that a burgeoning locust swarm, that means a group of locusts that known as a swarm in Rajasthan, Gujarat, even parts of Madhya Pradesh, threatens to amplify into an agrarian disaster. Why? Because in simpler way, for insects, there is a need of food. For these locusts, they also required some food, but they are required green food. That's why if you see that one situation, if rain is more, then harvesting or fields also increase. That means if rains are increased, that means these fruit crops or anything that also increase, that is proportional to that one. That's why we have seen in 2019, due to global warming, we have seen a increased rainfall of almost 70%. That means there is a greenery in India. That's why they came earlier, that these locusts will come as usual in June to July, but it come earlier in May itself. That's why we have a huge impact on agrarian situation. That's why this locust attacks to amplify into a agrarian disaster. Here there is a monitoring organization, locust warning organization, that is to monitoring the and tackling the periodic outbreaks of the marauding insects are among the objectives of the locust warning organization, which is located in a Jodhpur. Very important, underline it, locust warning organization, that is located in Jodhpur. Here, according to the Roxy Matthew Cole, climate scientist at Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, that is IITM, the heavy rainfall was caused by unusually warm waters in the Western Indian Ocean. Western Indian Ocean means parts of Rajasthan, Gujarat and Maharashtra parts. Here if you see that unusual warm waters in the Western Indian Ocean in late 2019. That means this is early migration of locusts to a consequence of excessive pre-monsoon rain in about almost 70% of India. Here there is an attack. Then what we have to do? That is, improved science and technology is the only making it clearer that man's fossils transcend borders. This make it is necessary to abandon any territorial blame game and focus on policies that will ensure equitable, sustainable future. We know that it came from Iran to Pakistan, from Pakistan to India. Apart from blaming other countries, we have to focus on policies like it will ensure equitable, sustainable future. That's why we can fight against this. Apart from COVID-19, this locust attacks also. Next one, there is a article written by some article written by our Vice President, that is M. Venkaiah Naidu ji, that is an echo of, sorry, this is not written by Venkaiah Naidu, it is written by Sanjoy, that is he is from Commonwealth Human Rights Institute. The echo of migrant footfalls and silence on policy. Here we are seeing so many migrants migrating from one state to another state. Here he is proposing 4 things and 4 ways to fight against this migrant in this COVID-19 situation. They are: 1. Relearn sustainable economies at the feet of Mahatma Gandhi, not the Niti Aayog or the Reserve Bank of India. India still lives in the village and small towns, not in cities. Here what this first point is telling about, we have to improve the situation of villages, not only cities. From the aspects of Mahatma Gandhi, he is telling that Gram Swaraj. That's why if we concentrate more on villages, that means sustainable economies for the villages, then only we will fight against for this migrant situation also. The second one, rebuild the rural economy based on building the household. Here there is important word, that is rural economy. Here we have to rebuild the household. That is the key and the target. Use the Swachh Bharat network. There is a improved, that is our target is achieved from this Swachh Bharat to strengthen the cottage industries which have been killed by huge industries. We have to give some boost up to the cottage industries that is killed by the huge industries which cannot work at more than normal capacity. Give the latter incentives to buy from rural manufacturers and thus generate the rural employment. Here we have to concentrate more on, not on vast, and that means large economies. First, if you improve that rural economy or rural employment, then it will fetch to the other cities also. That's why this person Sanjoy is telling that we have to improve the rural economy and give employment to the rural, not migration or distress, so that farm incomes are supplemented, equip and empower artisans with better skills, design, capacity and technology, access to capital and markets. Here the third one is suggested by that Sanjoy. Formalize work from home and design a migration plan. Support people to in their work in their states only, near their cluster of villages, so that they are not far from home, especially after the rising experience where employers have dismissed and disowned them. Governments have to fail them, and for the most non-governmental organization and relief workers have come to their rescue. If you see this situation, COVID-19 situation, some persons migrated from Andhra Pradesh to Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh to Gujarat. Some they are also from Gujarat to Andhra Pradesh. Some West Bengal to Odisha. We have seen that migrants. There is a one suggestion that means by our Sanjoy. If you improve or if you provide a employment or any work from home situation in their villages or their states, then we can't see about that distress or migration problem. That is the third thing. The fourth one, move funding from current planning which benefits corporates only. We have seen that these fundings or these budget or everything is are advantage to the corporates only or benefits to the corporates only. Now we have to move this funding to the states, panchayats, municipalities. In addition, increase the allocation on health, women, children and education. Here everyone is concentrating on EDB, that is ease of doing business index, that is released by World Bank. Ease of doing business, that is EDB. But everyone is neglecting or everyone is not concentrating on a HDI, that is Human Development Index. Whenever you give importance to the HDI index, that means Human Development Index, that comes under some sectors comes under this HDI are health, prioritize to the women and children and education, to of the 20% of the national budget and release the funds to these states. Then only we will fight against this migration problem and rural economy, and we will rural economy and rural employment also. These are the four suggestions given by the Sajoy. And there is also another article that is written by our Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu ji, enjoying the fruits of their labor. We have by heart we can say that India is a agrarian country. That means Indians are relying on the agriculture industry. That's why here if you see that farmers toil day and night, that means they are working hard in day and night through winter and summer, whether or not, and they get adequate returns. Even though they are not getting any adequate returns, they are toil day and night and through the winter and summer here, but they are not the masters of the price of their toil. That means they are unable to fix their prices on their what they are producing. That means they are not the masters of the price. If you see that the country is still far from ensuring efficient value chains of from farm produce for what of required infrastructure, like in my previous daily current affairs I have told that there is a lack of cold storages, stocking facilities and transport of perishable commodities like vegetables. Often farmers are forced to dump their produce on the roads or offer to eat cattle. That's why we have to improve the cold storages or stocking facilities and transport of perishable commodities. Here farmers are the cornerstone of food security of our country. That means that they are the backbone of our India. If you see that 20 lakh crore stimulus package announced by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman ji, apart from approximately 4 lakh crore support package for farming and allied sectors aimed at improving infrastructure and enhancing credit support, the most welcome feature of this package is the firm commitment to rewriting the Essential Commodity Act 1955 and APMC, that is Agriculture Produce Market Committees. They are rewriting these two laws, that is ACA Act and APMC laws. Here if you see that our farmers are the pride of our country, deserve the long awaited freedom to market their produce at the place of their choice. Next one, here loans to MSME may get the risk free tag. As a part of package, 3 lakh crore for the MSMEs, that is medium, small and micro enterprises sector was announced. This will be guaranteed by the NCGTC, that means National Credit Guarantee Trustee Company Limited, in the form of a guarantee emergency credit line, that means GECL, guaranteed emergency credit line. Here you don't need to by heart these words, that means these numbers like 3 lakh or some 9.25 percentage or 14%. Here you have to read the concept, what is behind, what is MSME, and what is the National Credit Guarantee Trustee Company Limited, and what is the guaranteed emergency credit line, or what is the non-performing assets, that means NPA. Here the scheme will be applicable till October 31st or till an amount of 3 lakh crore is sanctioned, whichever is earlier. Here what is the tenure? The tenure of loan under this scheme will be 4 years with a moratorium period of 1 year on the principal amount. The NCGTC, that is National Credit Guarantee Trustee Company Limited, will not charge any guarantee fee. Here what are the rate of interest? That is interest rate under the scheme is 9.25% if the loan is extended by the banks and financial institution, and by if it is given by the NBFs, that is non-banking financial companies, it is 14%. Next, there is a science and technology concept, that is invasive, that means harming or destroying mussel is spreading rapidly in Kerala's backwaters. Here an invasive mussel native to the South and Central American coast is spreading quickly in the backwaters of Kerala, elbowing out the other mussel and clam species and threatening the livelihoods of the fishermen engaged in a molluscan fisheries. Here there is a rapid spread of the charu mussel, that is Mestilla stigrata, may have been triggered by the, we have seen there is a cyclone, that is Okchi, which is struck in the region in 2017. Here the potential of Mestilla stigrata, that is charu mussel, to outcompete the lucrative clam fishery is a serious concern that urgently needs to be addressed. Here is a invasive mussel, that means charu mussel, that is here increasing in the nature of in Kerala's backwaters. Next one, I promised to make a previous paper analysis. That in that previous paper I have taken this question. With reference to the Constitution of India, prohibitions or limitations or provisions contained in ordinary laws cannot act as a prohibitions or limitations on the constitutional powers under Article 42. It could mean which one of the following? If you see the with reference to the Constitution of India or prohibitions or limitations, there are some provisions, limitations and prohibitions contained in ordinary law, but according to Article 142, here options are given. The decision taken by the Election Commission of India while discharging its duties cannot be challenged in any court of law. The Supreme Court of India is not considered in the exercise of its powers by laws made by the Parliament. In event of grave financial crisis, the President of India can declare financial emergency without the consent from the Cabinet. State legislature cannot make the laws on certain matters without concurrence of Union legislature. Here the right answer is the Supreme Court of India is not considered in the exercise of its powers by laws and made. It is wrong. Why? Because Supreme Court of India under Article 142 have some, they will give some decrees or they will give some orders to any joint sitting of panel. Here if you see the in calling, and it has an unfettered power by the Supreme Court of India in calling for a joint trial of separate cases in the Babri Masjid issue. The Supreme Court had used its extraordinary powers under Article 142. That means the Supreme Court of India is not considered in the exercise of its powers. It has the powers, that is an unfettered power. That means our right option is B only. With this we can conclude our video. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe to my channel. Gear up for Group 1 exam.